Welcome back once more, ladies and gentlemen, to ESL Katowice Royale. We are setting up right now for our game 4. 3 rounds, of course, already under the belt, and the action has been phenomenal so far, and we're looking forward to getting into some of the games we have coming your way. Now, one player we want to focus on before we do get into those games is one of Stress's favorites, and that man is Airwax.
First time I got into Fortnite is because a friend asked me to play just for fun, and yeah, I enjoyed it, and now I'm here. The first time I realized I was good enough, I actually didn't realize. I knew I could be good at the game, so I just started to play a lot because I got the mindset to be good at a game. I practice, I play a lot of scrims, a lot of MM. How is it called, matchmaking? And that's it, creative. My weakness, I think, is that sometimes I'm over-aggressive, so I get out of position and die. I think the most important is to be smart, so the builds is the most important aspect of the game. I don't think it's not compatible with eSport Fortnite, but Epic is not doing. They're trying to do the best to make it possible, and they're close to making it possible. So I think sometime soon it's gonna be good eSport. I guess the coolest thing I had being a Fortnite player is coming to IEM. So yeah, I'll try my best to win it.
Always great to hear from these guys. Gentlemen, Airwax there, as I said, one of Stress's favorites. He's been watching him very intently throughout all of the games, and we heard from him there. Lots to say about his game and obviously his thoughts on competitive Fortnite. But I need to welcome you guys to the desk. Starting off on the far side, we've got Lothar, the man with the, I'm going to say it right now, sorry rest of the broadcast team, the best hair on the broadcast team. It is phenomenal. It really,
thank you. It's just making me, embarrassed on the desk in the first seconds. It's fantastic opening.
Come on, man, it's a compliment. He's embarrassed by a compliment. And then next to me, we've got the world's bounciest man. It is Baller. How you doing, buddy?
I'm going to try not to bounce as much.
Oh, come on, man. I love it when you
All right, here we go.
There we go. There we go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Gentlemen, obviously, we've got 3 games done and dusted now. We're moving on to our 4th game. We started to see last weekend in our duos. Obviously, we only had 7 games of duos to decide things, but we started to see the lay of the land a little bit. We started to see which teams were consistently making it towards those end zones and picking up those points. We're starting to see that again now. We're seeing a lot of these teams get towards the end zone. But who's impressed you, Lothar, so far in the games that we've seen so far?
I'm very happy to actually see Cloud in the top. He's 16 only. This is his first LAN. And not only that, this is his first tournament ever.
That's phenomenal.
Insane pressure on him, and to perform like that, he was very close to actually getting a win at the same time. I think Myth had 2 kills. Cloud has 4. That's 30 points already, putting them in the top 5 right now. But at the same time, this is only the 3rd game, so we have an entire weekend ahead of us.
Yeah, we've got a lot of games to come. Baller, same question to you, buddy. Like, who has impressed you so far? Who has been consistent, and who are you looking out for to have big performances in our next 4 games?
For me, it's been Zayt and Saf. I think they're in 2nd right now. They've been having consistent performances, getting towards that high ground late, which is exactly what you want to see. We didn't see them in this game. They went down early, but again, they always make those high ground pushes. They're always there. All of a sudden, they're there, and you're like, what? How did they do this? Another team that's been doing that as well is VP, SSK7 and Jamside. They've been doing the exact same thing. Unfortunately, this game as well, the story was different, so we're starting to see all these different threads start to kind of coalesce into one piece.
And it's going to be beautiful to watch it. As I say, we haven't been able to separate duos or any of the tournament competition until the last game of the day. I mean, we've got 14 games, and if it goes all the way down to the wire, it certainly is going to be something to watch tomorrow afternoon as we decide our duos champion. But Lothar, just something that you touched on there as we do see the duo standings coming up. Some of these guys, it's their first event on a stage like this, and they're like 16 years old, which is insane to me. The amount of pressure and being able to deal with it, that is so impressive for such a young guy.
And not only that, even for the older guys, when you play like your entire, let's say, lifetime on Fortnite from home, from your own setup, different desk, different monitor, it feels so different when you come to a LAN event right here, right now, and you need to get accustomed in just 24 hours. So to perform like you do at home, it's a big of a it's a it's a big challenge, but they seem to be doing it well.
Now, Baller, let's talk about these stand-ins. As we can see them going down to the top 20 there. Milan and Smith rounding off that top 20. Good stuff from those two young guys there. But, I mean, looking at the stand-ins now, is there any teams that you're looking at there that you're maybe surprised to see there? Obviously, we have some incredible, we have to say this, 100 incredible players in this lobby and 50 unbelievable duos. But anyone that's surprising you with how well they're playing at the moment?
Yeah, we already touched on Myth and Cloud. That's the big one. All right. But Tyovsky and Nero.
Hometown heroes.
The first two games, I want them to do so well just because the crowd is getting behind them a little bit. Every time they see them in the end game, they're like, yeah, Tyo. And it's just fun to see. We saw them last weekend. They didn't have the performance that they hoped for, but today they're doing really well.
Yeah. They have one problem, though.
Oh, go on.
They jump on the new location with the ship, right, on Lazy Lagoon, and their opponents already know the game plan and where they land. I think they're going to have to change it up for this game because Nero got lasered by a scoped AR in the early game, and that was a huge issue for them. So not going to be surprised if they're going to change it up right now.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you. Obviously, now we're getting towards our game 4. You can see we're just a few seconds away from getting into it now. But is this the point where we are starting to see some of these drop spots change up because things haven't been going the way of these duos?
Yeah, definitely. All these players are going to start to realize exactly what is going on at their drop location. We already talked about Zayt and Saf versus Mitro and Kuna. We didn't actually see that fight at all yet because they've been just kind of disengaging and saying, hey, actually, we're good here. We don't need to take this fight. So all these players are kind of starting to feel out their spots, exactly what they need to do, exactly how the splits are going to go, and they can decide what to do in the future now.
So there's an unwritten rule. If you lose twice early game off spawn against someone else, you probably change your landing location. And it's interesting in Tilted Towers. We see like two big forces collide, and that might be a problem for the entire weekend, right? When you have 14 games like that, very sweaty openings, might be tough.
Well, here we go, gentlemen. It's going to be fantastic to hear from you guys as we get into our round number 4. You can see the bus is ready, so let's get into this one.
Let's do this. Match number 4 is underway, and we're already hopping in with Jamsai. That's one of the players that I was talking about here. He was so strong in those first 2 games.
You know what's funny? They go Paradise every single time, starting from the skirmishes. I remember competing against them in Paradise. I was like, you know what? Nah, not really. They're super aggressive. I don't want to jump there. I don't want to have that early contest with them. They're really pushy when it comes to the early game. They're bullying everyone who lands there.
I talked to a lot of players who were kind of interested in dropping Paradise or Palms, and they all decided, hey, there's actually way too many players going here, but actually we're only seeing 2 or 3 teams now, maybe 4, possibly, but already picking up the hunting rifle, landing on that guaranteed weapon.
Infant ready to pick up and already shooting with it, right? But that's a great strategy against Storm Surge. Even if you're not going to knock anyone down there, you get the early game damage, so you don't have to worry about the Storm Surge later on.
And before this game, I was mentioning exactly how much Storm Surge is affecting all these players. We're seeing it tick more than ever.
Bobit already died to history!
Oh, no. So we were looking for Poverty and Zeke. They were playing so well as well. They got a few eliminations in a very sticky situation on Viking Hill the other day. And then Coffee and Beehive as well. They're in the top 5, kind of landing here in Pleasant. There's only one team contesting here, but here's Cloud and Myth on to Max Salibra and Keolis. This is one of the teams that was dropping tilted against Nick Merckx, Aiden, Faxfox, and all those players. So we'll see how this engagement goes. This is probably unfamiliar territory here for Cloud and Myth as they try to hunt down where these players are going. And there goes Cloud. Some compact SMG spray right to start off.
Cloud with the good inventory right now. Blue Pump and Infantry can be used as a interchangeable weapons. Nice shot, 82 damage going down.
That's exactly what you need. You need that those first shots going into an engagement like this, because then you're going to be able to push and take exactly the position you want.
That's the confidence boost you need in those early game engagements, but those trees are getting in the way, a lot of cover. All right, we'll see if Myth pushes with Cloud. He is.
Okay, here we go. Myth going up. Actually, Max Salibra already has a little bit of high ground there. He's trying to get those clingers, but it's not going to work. Cloud is going to take him out, so it's just now onto Keolis. He's actually all the way away. Not sure where he's going. They were not together at all. They kind of got split, and that's really good, Lothar. Exactly what Cloud and Myth need to do.
By the way, that clinger, did it hit him?
Nope.
Like his own one? But it was very close. Now, next fight between Hupek and Skix.
It's 2 1v1s here. Hupek onto 0-7 and Lil J onto Skix. They actually have Lil J pinched. If they realize this, Hupek can take great advantage of it. But no, 0-7 is going to keep Hupek occupied, and he dies. He goes down right there.
super low HP on whopping was really looking hard for him. But now this kick, will he redeem it?
All alone, he needs to find at least Lil J right now. If he can find him, that's going to be the exact time he needs. There he goes, he gets the knock. He's going to be able to finish him, but here it comes. 0-7, he's coming through with that silence SMG. He does get the finish, but that tactical shotgun doing so much work right now. Skix, just one more shot he needs to get on there. And now, over towards this new area here. Include is actually down, or no, Mirana already down. Include trying to pick him up. Seth has just a few seconds to get it. They do get the pickup, and he's going to be able to block him off. Nice play there. Seth all alone onto these two players.
No builds available as well. He was trying to finish off the duo because he knew he has the advantage, but without any builds possible, he couldn't push the high ground. Yeah. Now we're switching back to Paradise between Virtus Pro and the Brazilians.
And so we talked about how quickly the engagements happened in Paradise. Immediately grabbing that infantry rifle. We saw Zeke and Poverty go down already, the Brazilians. Now it's all up to the VP team here. Jamside and SSK7 finding a low ground position. Oh, he's actually so close right here. History can find some shots, but no, SSK7 covers him from the back.
The damage pretty low, still at over 100 HP, but those great tacticals might be doing a lot of work right now.
They're all over the map. Everybody's got one. And now on to Tilted. Aim Hero and Fax Fox pushing on to Aiden. Nick Merckx down below as well.
Aim Hero with the massive build over the entire Tilted. Stink Bombs doing massive work as well, zoning out the opponents, giving the information. It's like a wall hack.
That indeed it is. You're able to get those ticks and find exactly where he is, but I don't think we did tick onto Aiden. Nick Merckx just staying right down there. I believe he might have a sniper rifle, trying to hit one nice cheeky little shot.
He also, Aim Hero here has a launch pad just to have a backup plan if everything goes badly.
Oh.
Now,
Aiden is such an unfortunate position here. Nick Merckx needs to try to join him there. He is going to be able to do it, and they're going to fall back into the building. This is exactly what they always do. Unfortunately, this building is kind of small, so they're in a rough position. They need to try to back up.
Look at Prism, though, getting that flank from the east. They're going on the hill. They have a really good angle towards the Koreans.
Aim Hero actually realizes that. You can see he's already looking towards it. He's aware. He knows. He signals to his teammate Fax Fox to disengage here, go down as Nick Merckx and them as well. Actually, Vivid and Poach on the Beehive and Cafe here in Pleasant Park. And this is going to be a nice fight here. They need to kind of finish this off if they want the loot from Pleasant Park. It's not really enough for two duos. Here comes Cafe. Just get the nice shot. That is Vivid onto Cafe. And this is a nice play here, and a very important one as well. Poach takes out Cafe. Now, all to find just Beehive. Let's see if they can survive here. Not sure where they do finish that elim. There,
so
nice
there
shot.
it is, nicely.
That's all about opening up the sidewalls and everything there, Lothar. They had so many angles.
That is true. We actually did talk about Pleasant Park specifically, but we don't have time. There's so many early game engagements in the beginning. Now Ghost, Bizzle, and DMO are getting against Valiant and Windwalker, the Finns.
And over towards the middle of the map between Retail and Salty here, right around Divot. And this is going to be center zone from the looks of it.
They're replacing the entire hut, which is a great strategy. If they're in the middle of the circle, they can just wait it out. Depends on the inventory, of course. The context is important.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of mats, but you can still have an entire building to replace, you can get, let's say, a saving account when it comes to your mats that you can just then use for rotations.
There they are, Tyovsky and Nero onto Skite and Vato. They're trying to chase them down. I'm not sure whether they're in zone. We'll see in a second here. And they're also getting engaged from the side. Maybe that's Vato. Yes, it is. They're very split here, and they're trying to get towards zone.
Let's Stream team is one of the most aggressive duos here in the lobby, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go for Nero and Tyovsky. But Nero, no, that's Tyovsky with the heavy sniper can make a great opening. If he hits someone for 150, that's not a knock. It's just like a message. We should go anywhere.
Yeah,
we should be aggressive.
We just saw Bizzle and Demo onto Vialanen and Windwalker. They were backing up. They were chasing them down actually already. There was so much action here, Lothar. Just all over the place. Camo and Issa just cleaning up a fight here. And now, I was talking about this. Bizzle and Demo kind of chasing them down and then letting them disengage. How do you balance, Lothar, the positioning versus getting those eliminations if you can? They got early tags, but they decided, hey, I want to back off. How do you balance that?
I think that depends mainly on your drop location. If you know that there are people who can be close or rotating already in the 2-minute mark, you might not be pushing so much, especially on the high ground. You might be looking forward to just be low ground, taking those angles and get that chip damage in. But at the same time, if you know that your position is pretty safe and you can just get into that an engagement early game, you will push. But now we're switching back to Tilted Towers. Look at the amount of teams that we have in Tilted right now.
We're going to see a replay here. Cloud onto... This is the engagement early in Lonely Lodge. And Cloud and Myth cleaning up Maxaliber. Killless got away. See, no, they didn't end up. Here's Sunny Steps. A nice shot from Seth. But no, the unique team taking him down. They win Sunny Steps here.
He was in a really bad spot. No builds, couldn't block any shots, couldn't like just defend himself, basically.
And we saw that clutch from Skix as well. Now, back into Tilted, Zexero and Vinny. One of our leaders. There's Bowman and Alpha. Fax Fox and Aim here. There, it's split between 4 different duos here. And you can see Aiden and Nick Merckx, the veterans here, actually taking the garage, which is something you don't normally see from them. They tend to take a better building than just the garage. Maybe like the basketball court or something like that.
Makes sense. There's a lot of mats that can replace. All depends if they have the inventory full or not. Where they're pushed outside by someone, they have to take this one, but you can see them replacing. Yeah. And this might indicate they want to just camp it out, see the next zone because it's pretty close, right? And they can just turtle it up and expand.
And Mitro and Kuna as well doing exactly the same thing. But they are in that zone. They're centered. And look at that loadout. He already has that legendary RPG. That's going to be so strong going into the end game.
Even with like 2 rockets, it's worth the slot.
Right.
It guarantees you a retake on the high ground, which is something like, you know what's funny? We don't see grenades anymore because they got vaulted and we have clingers instead, but you can use clingers the same way we were using rocket launchers before. They can just be a high ground retake utility item that has faster fire rate than the rocket launcher itself.
Exactly. You can target the clingers perfectly to take out high ground exactly on each little individual build.
And with the new ping system, you can even indicate to your teammate where exactly you're pointing at.
That new ping system, definitely a very valuable tool in duos right now. And Tyovsky and Nero actually going down to another one of the Lestream teams. Not the ones they were chasing down, but actually the Vic and Blacks.
You know what? Blacks who got a double kill with a trap and a shotgun. We can see, post factum what happened here. There's a lot of loot, there's a lot of clingers. Look at this, 10 clingers in his inventory and still some lying around on the ground. So
that's another thing with the clingers. You can just take so many. And here's Zexero and Vinny. They're trying to get a few tags. Look how slow. Look how not that far above the zone, the storm surge threshold. They are only 18 above. So they're trying to get all the tags they can. And that's what we're talking about. People are starting to adjust to how it's actually working out in duos. They definitely need to be above that storm surge.
Another fight. This is salty. Is it? Yes, it is.
Salty.
So many buildings replaced, man. Yeah. It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't even look like it at all. And actually, Kuna and Mitro, one of the things, that building is so strong because it does provide the brick. Not every single house around in each of the towns in Pleasant, in Retail, and here in Salty do provide brick. And that's one of the more valuable resources because you can find wood anywhere.
That is correct. The damage threshold on the Storm Surge for them was actually quite okay, plus 63, which is fine. Now we see 72 hours in the storm with Chap fighting.
So low HP right now. He needs to try to get out of zone. That's going to be, they're going to keep him in there, but he's actually going back in. He's trying to let his teammate Chap. He's trying to buy some space for him, but he's so low HP. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. I think he just barely has enough HP as long as he doesn't get tagged at all.
But he's staying in the zone. That's so tough. He's like, what, 5 HP?
That's not what you want if you're 72 hours. This team, Isma and Lolito, he does go down the zone. Chap has to save. It's all on to Chap right now.
Chap has to clutch it, then get the
Took
revive.
the vent and left.
Yeah.
That's the decision.
Abandoned 72 hours, man. I mean, that's a tough decision that sometimes you have to get, to choose from.
Yep.
And, well, it's worth it. You need to play for placement. The point system rewards consistency.
Exactly. Rewarding consistency, and 72 hours in Chap have been somewhat consistent. They're not having the big games that they need for the all the points they have, but they are not too far. But actually, Funk Bomb and Nate taking Storm Tick damage right now. That Storm Surge being it's doing so much to these players. And now Nate actually making a little bit of a mistake there because of the Storm Surge, but he only has 2 more ticks.
He has the Storm Surge on him. That's 25 damage every 5 seconds or something like that. So it's gonna be pressuring them. They need to get those damage.
That's unfortunate. Hunter and Kinstar realize exactly what's going on. They say, okay, we're not that far above the threshold, but we realize you're getting ticked and we're not. And so they just backed up and bought all the time they need in here. They're going to actually take their box.
Good strategy. Good strategy. They have the sound cues. They have the visual cues as well for the Storm Surge. But now, FaZe is left with 1 player, so the Storm Surge is done. And now he can be more passive.
Right. When the Storm Surge does end up taking you out, you don't get knocked. You just get out, eliminated from the game. And their jam side actually taking out Myth and Cloud in quick succession.
And it's still so far away from the points for placements. We have 38 teams. The first teams that get placement points are 25th.
Right. And so actually, Funk Bomb, this is exactly what he needed. Getting that supply drop. We'll see if he gets some health, some heals, some mobility, all the stuff that he needs to get into the end game. And actually, who's this on top of the hill? It's Dementos and Fuxy. They're using the cannons onto Animal.
That's a very big meta change, by the way. This hill was always good, right? Yep. But now, with the pirate outpost that we have it actually makes so much sense to camp it out.
It really
There's
does.
Like 5 layers already when it's being built. You can build over it, and now you have rotational item as well being just on the cannon that you can shoot.
I really like there that strat that he's opening the edit every time he takes a shot, and that's really nice, minimizing the chances that he's going to take any damage. You can see here we go. Oh, he's going to launch himself.
Fish sticks in the cannon.
And now he needs to go himself. We'll see if he's going to be able to. He actually has 2 Ripticos as well, so there's mobility.
Oh no! Oh my! What happened?
Unfortunately, he hit the ceiling, so it kind of blocked him, and now his teammate's all alone. So this is the thing, using the cannons. Maybe the strategy is to take 2 cannons instead, so that you can launch at the same time. Because again, it's not as accurate as doing a launch pad or anything like that. You can't choose where you're going to go. You just have to aim perfectly,
and then you just fly and pray.
Exactly. One of the things I was worried about there with the cannon was it's a tool, just like any other explosive, to force engagements on people. Animal there, right above Boyer and Kripa, could have done that, but there's Skite and Vato. We saw them earlier. They're kind of alone in a box, and that's a little risky on the edge of zone. When they're all the only people on the side of zone, guess what? They're a target.
Yeah. And now, good hits on the gliding player, but it's still like they're in a good position right now.
Yeah, actually, Saf takes out Skite. They landed right next to Zayt and Saf. And we'll see if he's going to be able to take out Vato as well. Yes, he does go down. So 2 elims for Zayt and Saf. That was risky for them. They're going to go ahead and use that launch pad as well, the Vic and Blacks.
I think it's a good decision. Even though you take some damage from the Storm, you guarantee you're going to rotate to the next zone, so they can just play right now a little bit more passive. But at the same time, if someone sees that and destroy the launch pad, might be rough.
There's Item and Tamo Bizzle as well. I don't see Demo, but Item and Tamo doing very well. Item placing, I think he placed 10th yesterday in the solos. Tamo played very well as well, so we're going to keep that eye on them. They're also high up in the standings currently.
Great strategy to sit on your floor underneath a pyramid, because that allows you to have really good vision, but at the same time, you have great opportunity to be just super quick on your shotgun blast.
Right. Indeed, you can just pull that edit at a moment's notice and take the shots. You see a lot of players taking advantage of that right now, but the Diamond actually going to blow up his own structure. That's unfortunate for him.
Unlucky. And oh no, that bandit got interrupted.
Oh no. So regardless, here, Issa and Camo have a great position. They've been in this house for a majority of the game right now. We saw them get eliminations early in Salty, and then they've been here ever since. And look at the structure, Lothar. All the way up. Look how far he's editing up. He's been editing up for a few minutes now, it feels like.
Yeah, well, you know, they had a lot of savings, as I said, in the bank
Talked
account.
about it. Recycling the materials. That's exactly what you can do. Somebody can stay down below, farm, while the other player stays up and hides, or and spots and make sure nobody pushes you.
Yeah, and this is the Storm 5. And we still have above 50 players in the lobby. The Storm Surge will do work for some people. Now we have to pay close attention who will be the target, because he will start being the aggressor.
That's correct. Here, Kinstar and Hunter, they have that legendary RPG as well, the Rift to go. They're going to be in a good shape.
Fantastic inventory. Epic, heavy AR, good shotgun, still the Rift to go. They're really looking to be in a great position right now. But Animal is being tagged by the stink bombs.
You can't escape Kripa and Boyer. And now Villix and Kinzel also joining in on the fun. He's just going to make a mess for Animal. Let's see what he can do. Here's Issa and Camo again. These controller players, they're playing so well. They're one of the only EU teams in the top 10 right now. Well, no, actually, that's false. In the top 5, sorry. EU is just on the edge of the top 5. They're all ready to pounce. Just in striking distance. We talked about being in striking distance yesterday.
You just triggered the chat, man.
I did, yeah. Absolutely.
It's not gonna end. Razor just finished Shinken. They did so well in the previous game.
Shinken and Stompy up as well. You can see them in the background. Kinstar and Hunter as well. Vinny and Zexo still up. Nikov and Airwax. This is one of the teams that we're looking out for. A lot of the players who are playing very, very well in practice. Look at all that loot.
That loot is free real estate.
I think that's Razaru's spoils if he wants to go for it. No,
Well,
Skix is going to get it.
Pick it up. You know what's interesting? This
Tomo grabbing Blacks there. That's a nice pickup.
Wanted to say something about the zone, but those shots connected so well. Kripa with the finish on the Byakusu from last stream. Now this zone is actually pretty cool for the players because it's flat land, so you will not have like a lot of challenges when it comes to the vertical positioning.
Look at all the players right now on the mini-map, just getting into zone, getting into that half-in, half-out zone. We're at 48 players remaining, 29 teams up, so 5 more need to go down in order for the points to, or sorry, 4 more. They're all already getting in the zone, rotating early. That's so good for everybody, and that's one of the reasons we're seeing so many players in these M games now.
Yeah, and Svenos is using his grenade launcher. I think this is the best timing.
Oh, Issa went down.
Grenade launcher is using it right now. Tomo an item. I think dead in the middle. Great position. No, what just happened there?
I don't know. 3 players.
That was Svenos' grenade launcher that just destroyed like 3 people.
Just knocked it all down. We saw the big structure that they had early, Issa and Camo, and now the first moving zone is revealed. There it is in the bottom right.
45 people alive.
This is going to be, he's looking for it. He wants it. No, he's actually baiting it. He's going to try to take some shots on the motor now, but no, he has to block his black. I can't speak, but it's okay. Here it goes.
It's all good, but that window was actually very frightening to open since there were so many people that could have looked at them. But now, Vilix with that nice...
He just snuck up on them with the silence SMG. He takes down Safta.
Because it's silence. He was able to sneak up on them.
Sneaky player there, but again, Zayden Saf on high ground. This is what we always see. And remember, they have the Rift to Goes. We saw had 2 earlier and a launch pad, so they're in such good position.
Oh, he can straight jump down on that launch pad.
So many players flying right now. Everybody using the mobility. Everybody using it because it's just going over flat ground. It's not too much, but there's Mitro and Kuna taking high ground of their own. See, Ryux and Marky, see if they're going to be able to get over towards... No, they're going to fall. He takes so much damage.
They didn't take lethal damage there.
And that's something we've seen a lot of players who take a high ground a little too early, but there again, he gets knocked down. Not too much damage again, but Mitro and Kuna are starting to connect.
Mitro has the rocket launcher and the dynamite. He will be able to control the high ground so well with it, but he just lost it.
But here we go. He has the RPG. He can still... Kuna is fighting. No, he's going to say, Kuna, please get down. I don't want to fight them. They're just too aggressive on this build fight here.
Provoked and Tux on the highest possible high ground. I don't know what's their inventory, but they can control it as well now.
Zayton Saf still up. Zexro Vinny still up. I see as well. Mitro and Kuna, we already talked about them. Bizzle's up. Nikov and Airwax up. Tomo item as well. There's so many good players up still. And this is what we talk about. All these players always get into these end games. Here goes Tux. They're going down a little bit.
They have a launch pad still. They're not using it yet.
Just joining up with Mitro and Kuna right now. There's still so many players here. We're watching everything rotate. Now all the builds go through. Everybody's with the tunnels here.
What a great view. Honestly, this looks fantastic. Nikov just got knocked by a rocket launcher, got the damage from it, but still alive. Now Mitro reloading that rocket launcher, getting that.
This is it. This is the moment. They need to try to push for hard. No, they're not going to do it. They're just going to knock him down. They have another opportunity later. Remember, he has 1 more rocket at least. And there, all the explosives on the mid ground. This is going to be really risky now for Provoked and Tux up on high ground.
A lot of players being eliminated right now. All those explosives are paying off for being held in the inventory for the late game. Provoked still on the high ground with Tux together. There's nice synergy. They have really good position to have a free shooting range.
Yeah, and Saf and Zay are still up right now. They use both of their rifts, right? But this is just chaos down on low ground. It's actually going to go quite up on high ground. Vinny here trying to take this last Elam, but he has no mat, so he's going to be in trouble going over this. If he needs to get elimination. No, he goes down.
He whips this shot.
Tux and Provoked still on high ground, but guess who's there? Zay and Saf again, but Zay gets knocked down. 9 players remaining.
Remember,
this is it. High ground is so key here. Provoked and Tux just taking all the shots they can. They're getting right to it. Zayt's still up. It's also the VP player, 7SSK7, against Provoked and Tux. So it's a 2v1v1. It's going down to the wire here.
He found the time to reload. That heavy sniper might be crucial to replace a wall. There's another kill. SSK on Zayt.
It's all up to SSK7 to stop Provoked and Tux here. They're on a tear. They have 4 elims to their name. They're looking for the last one. SSK7 will see what he's able to do. Does not have his teammate, so he's got to clutch up big. Here goes Provoked from 2 sides. He does
Nice
get the
shot.
and he's going to finish it here. Yes!
Oh my.
Tux gets him. The nice pinch there, Lothar. That's exactly what you want to do in those endgame situations.
Look, oh, the clutch. They were like destined to do well in that end game. They regained the high ground from the opponents. They were just sitting there comfortably, but also controlling the entire vision so well.
That's exactly the type of endgame we love to see. We saw Zayt and Saf pull one of those off as well when they ended up high ground, high ground, high ground, getting a few elims, letting the players down below fight, and then ending up pinching down below. That was perfect from them. That was absolutely beautiful.
Well done, well done. And you can see how players are required to play smart because they're not getting the inventory mats for kills.
And
for elims, of course.
And there you can see Tux and Provoked. Provoked on the left, Tux on the right. They're so happy discussing that game, talking about what went right, and everything went right.
I think it couldn't have gone better for them. To be honest with you, you just felt like as soon as that end zone sort of closed in, they just seemed to be in the best position. They had that high ground. And again, we're seeing that patience. And we're seeing that teamwork coming in, that synergy in those last moments. And Lothar, I wanted to ask you about that because, you know, it's decision-making is such a huge part of any competitive title. But in those clutch moments, especially in Battle Royale, in Fortnite, you have so many decisions to make in game. You have 100 players, 50 duos. You have to make so many decisions that when it gets down to that final one in the end game where you've got that victory royale on the line, that puts even more pressure on those decisions.
It puts more pressure. You know what's funny? When you're in the end game, you have like 3 people left, or it's just like 2 versus 1. I feel like in that moment, you feel less pressure than it's when it's 30 people just moving in the end zone because it requires so much quick thinking while you can relax when you're 2 versus 1.
And I saw in their play confidence. You saw how they took high ground, and they just continuously looked around, looked for shots, looked for exposing themselves really on the shots as well. And that's the confidence that you need to win those endgame situations on set.
And again, good placement coming in from Saf and Zayt. They seem to just always be in those end games at the moment. But talking about those guys, should actually hear from our winners of the last game. It's Tux and Provoked.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm with Tux and Provoked here, our Game 4 winners, in the words of Baller. Let's go, baby! Guys, how you feeling? Amazing victory, that one.
Yeah, I mean, it feels absolutely amazing trying to like get a win in a big tournament. Double heavy sniper OP, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, it was all about the high ground for you guys there as well. How much of an advantage did that give you in that final endgame?
It gives us such a big advantage. High ground is definitely the best at the moment in this meta. And we won because of height. And we risked everything for the height, but we actually managed to take it, so that won us the game.
I mean, where are your heads at as well in terms of coming into these games? Are you playing for position? Are you playing for elims? How are you guys playing it strategically?
I mean, we switched up a little bit this game. We didn't have a great first 3 games. A few bugs, few misplays on our part, but we literally went out back, had a little reset, washed our hands with the whole situation, came back in here, hyped us out, and yeah, we popped off.
When you guys as well come into this competition against these kind of other players around you as well, is there anyone in particular you're kind of looking out for, or already you kind of see them kind of rising above the rest in the pack and stuff, or are you kind of like, it's all still fair game, there's loads and loads of rounds to go?
Right now, it's Vinny and Zexro. As they're on top, probably, still, it's definitely the people we need to look out for most.
Well, listen, best of luck with the competition. You're one step closer to these things as well. Keep on going, guys. Big round of applause for our Game 5 winners, Tux and Provoked. Guys, well done, well done. I cannot believe that we're already over halfway through day 1 of our duos. It's been incredible so far. Can't wait to see what happens next going into the next game. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thank you very much, Adam. And something that really jumped out for me there is that mental reset that they needed. They said, Lothar, things didn't quite go their way in those first 3 games, but just took a few moments to step away, have a little talk about things, and then they come out with a victory royale.
That's the luxury of having 14 games in a tournament, right? You can rebound from the first 3 games. And by the way, I talked about Cloud being 16, right? Provoked is 16 as well. This is his first big land. This is one of his first tournaments ever. And look how confident he is, right? That's a great mindset to have.
Oh, phenomenal stuff from someone so young to come out with that kind of confidence and perform on this level as well. And, you know, I want to ask you, Baller, like, confidence is a huge thing in any competitive video game. They can really bounce from now. Do you think that they're just going to be sitting there right now going, we want to get into this next game? We've had our mental reset. We've got that win. Let's back into the lobby.
I don't know. Maybe the mental reset is what they need every single game. That's kind of the attitude of a lot of these players, right? Just take it one game at a time. And remember, it's all still up in the air. Everything is still up in the air. It doesn't matter who's in the top right now. All that matters is the marathon. Everybody's been saying, I think 2 people already said it on the interviews. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So wash your hands of every single game. Every single game is going to be different. And you got to take it one game at a time.
One game at a time is what all these players are going to be doing. Gentlemen, fantastic stuff as always. We are over halfway through our first day of duos action right now. We're going to go for another break. When we get back, we've got round number 5.